Hey churches, I'm here with Dr. John Mann. He has been the interim president here at Jacksonville College, but there's a lot of things he'd probably like to tell you. So anyway, let me kind of turn it over to you to tell some of our folks who don't know who you are a little bit about yourself. Tell them what you've been up to, but then you can tell us what you're going to be doing.
Alan, thanks first of all just for giving me the time to be able to have this conversation. I think it's certainly helpful to me. I think it'll be helpful to those entities with which I've been engaged, and hopefully it'll be helpful to Dogwood Trails Baptist Association as well. But just in brief, I moved to Jacksonville College about a year and a half ago. And previous to that, I was pastoring a church just west of Fort Worth in Azle, and was an adjunct professor at Southwestern Seminary. And I taught systematic theology there for about 10 years. And the Lord called us to come to Jacksonville College, and I came to serve as the executive vice president, which primarily meant that I did the financial and business side of the college. And but after a few months of me being here, I guess about 10 months after me coming here, the president resigned and the trustees asked me to step in as the interim president. And so I've been doing this role since November the 1st as the interim president. And it's just been a wonderful learning experience for me. Jacksonville College is filled with so many gifted and talented people, and I'm so thankful for 125 years of Jacksonville College. I mean, there is a story just within that legacy, within that history of people who've been trained to go into the marketplace and to do so having been equipped with the gospel of Jesus Christ. But just in recent days, really within the last month or so, the Lord has called us back to Southwestern Seminary. And so next week we will be getting into a truck with a whole lot of boxes and moving back to Fort Worth.
Yeah, you just got the boxes unpacked and now you packed them back up.
So it's kind of like making the bed, and you know, why do you make the bed when you know you're just going to get back in it? We're kind of like, why did we even unbox this stuff? You know, now we're headed back.
So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing, but also tell us too what your wife does and everything, how those things will kind of work together.
Yeah. So our family has really been engaged with Southwestern Seminary now for over 20 years. We raised two girls at Southwestern Seminary. We lived in the townhouses, and man, it's just been a part of our life for so many years. In addition to me having worked as an adjunct professor, my wife has actually been there ever since we moved to Fort Worth back in 2000. And so for now about 23 years, she's been at Southwestern Seminary. She served a lot of different roles and a lot of different functions, but her primary role now is that she works as a development officer raising money. And so she'll continue to do that role, where I will step into a different department. And what I will be doing is I will be working out of the president's office, and my primary role is going to be the assistant to the president for constituent relations. That's a big way of saying that I will be working with churches, with associations, as well as with state conventions, and being a representative of the seminary to all of those various entities. Along with that, I'll do some teaching. I'll teach theology, and we'll also teach business in the college. And so that's kind of the role that I'll be doing.
Yeah. So how will you engage with churches? I mean, what is kind of the thing that you'll be doing to touch base with churches?
Yeah. So primarily, what I'll be doing is I want to preach at our churches, and so that is me inviting myself to be able to come and preach at some churches of Dogwood Trails Baptist Association. And so that's the primary way that I want to be able to engage with the churches of the Southern Baptist Convention. Dr. Dockery as well as Dr. Hawkins have made it clear that we recognize that Southwestern Seminary exists for the local church. And so the primary way that I want to be able to do that role is to come and preach. Along with that, I want to engage in associational meetings as well as with meetings with our state conventions, our conventions here in Texas, as well as within the other states that surround us. And so to be able to go and to be a face. The church that I pastored was really just kind of a normative church. It was not a large church. It was a church that I led through a merger. We did the revitalization process. Previously, I'd served as a consultant for the revitalization program at Southwestern Seminary. And so I want to make myself available to all those churches to be able to bring whatever experiences that I have that they may find helpful for their own local ministry.
So, of course, Southwestern has been talked about a lot of changes going on. So what would you say to us in getting back to Southwestern is what's so bright about its future right now?
Yeah, well, I would say the primary thing is of course, first of all, we just believe that with Southwestern Seminary being the seminary that has trained more missionaries than any of our other seminaries, it has such a legacy, going back to 1908. It has such a legacy of training missionaries, training pastors, and we just believe that there are a lot of people out there that really love Southwestern, that are praying for Southwestern, and that are voices of encouragement and willing to provide support to Southwestern Seminary. And so I would say, first of all, it's just the fact that we believe that the Lord is not finished working at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. Secondly, it is the vision that has been cast by Dr. Dockery and Dr. Hawkins. Dr. Dockery just being such a stellar leader within Christian higher education. The providence of God seemed to have arranged that he would be at that place at this time to be able to take Southwestern Seminary and to move her through this season of ministry. And then the third thing is just the fact that I just believe that there are so many pastors and missionaries, so many people equipped for the ministry through Southwestern Seminary, that the words of Robert Naylor are true, that the sun never sets on Southwestern Seminary. And we just believe that those who are Southwesterners are going to rally around her during this time. And this is just going to be a story to tell of how God has worked magnificently through Southwesterners.
So one of the conversations we have a lot is we need to call out the called, that we need a new generation of called out ones. And I heard that Southwestern had a fantastic preview day and their fall is looking really strong. So that's exciting. So pastors, call out your called. Know that Southwestern is really turning around, and we're excited for what's going on. We hate to lose you as a member within our association, but we're excited for the next chapter God has for you. So I want to thank you for the year and a half you've been involved here, and I know on behalf of the college too, they're gonna miss you and your wife, but we are excited for those new days. So anyway, reach out to John. I'll make sure you have his contact information so he can come speak in your church. He'd love to tell you what's going on at Southwestern, and it's an easy day when you don't have to preach. So take advantage of that opportunity. And churches, thanks for tuning in to this casual conversation today.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, John.